Welcome to the Real in Real Estate Podcast, your go-to show for real estate success. Whether you're an agent aiming to crush it or a buyer or seller wanting the inside scoop, we're here to deliver expert advice, insider tips, and the real talk you need. Each episode, we chat with top industry pros to give you the facts, strategies, and inspiration you need to thrive in this business. Let's dive in and make big moves together. Hi, welcome back to the Real in Real Estate, where we talk to the experts and get the facts and dispel the myths about real estate. And today I'm here with the very successful Brian Spack. He is the guru of customer service. I love talking to him, and he's been gracious enough to take time out of his busy day to tell us about the importance of customer service. As you know, all of our business is relationship based, and it's all about service and taking care of your clients. So thank you, Brian. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it. It's good to see you. It's been a while.
It has. Good to see you too.
Thank you.
Brian, how long have you been in the business?
I originally got my license in 1983. I had gotten a condo in Austin when I was in college. The agent that sold us the condo recommended that I get my license. So I went ahead and got it then. Got my broker's license in 85, dabbled in commercial real estate a little bit when I got out of college, but the economy was so bad that I got in the energy business. And then when Enron fell and all the ancillary things happened there, a friend of mine said, John Doherty is a friend of mine and you have your broker's license. Why don't you go sell residential real estate? And I said, oh, no, I don't want to do that. And so, of course, I met with John, and the rest is history. That was 2002.
Wow. Yeah, long time ago. I'm 17 years, so you definitely have me beat on that. But anyway, so let's talk about customer service, because it's not I don't really consider it a sales job, although sometimes people equate it as that. I consider it a problem-solving job. We have a client who needs to sell, we have a client who needs to buy, or both, and it's our job to solve all those problems and find what they need. How do you see customer service?
I'm going to preface this, Jean, by saying my middle initial, I don't have on a monogram shirt today, but my middle initial is S. And every day, the S stands for something different. And in fact, I'm in the process of doing a series of reels for Instagram and Facebook showing what the S stands for on any specific day. So today, it's really funny. I'm working with one of my little cousins. She's a videographer, and what we've come up with is fantastic. But that notwithstanding, today, the S stands for service. And we are in a sales job, but more importantly, we are in a problem-solving job, and we are fiduciaries. We must put our clients' needs way ahead of our own. At John Doherty, I was when they brought in new agents, there was training, and I was the one. I had a whole spiel on service, and the first thing that I told everyone was, the minute this job, career, occupation becomes about you, it's time to find another job, because it's never about us. It's always about what our clients want, what our clients need, figuring out how to communicate with them, and figuring out how to process the information that they give back to us.
Absolutely. And I'm sure you, as well as I, have worked with agents that I don't think have that same priority, that put themselves before, and that's unfortunate.
Agreed. And I'm not judgmental, but I always like to analyze situations. And when I'm dealing with agents who are of a different mindset, it's difficult. But just like in relating to our clients, we have to understand how to communicate with other agents that don't have the same ethos or the same approach as we. And most important, you always have to keep the peace.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have to learn how to communicate with each different kind of personality too. So we may be the peacekeeper, other people may not be, but we have to learn how to make it work because it's all about making it work for our client.
Agreed.
So go after that. Starting out in this business and getting started, customer service is a word we hear all the time. How would you suggest that they concentrate their efforts to become the best service provider that they can? What do you suggest?
Uh, Anyone who knows me well knows that I am a Stevie Nicks fanatic, and she wrote a beautiful
Fleetwood
song.
Mac.
She wrote a beautiful song called Landslide, and the beginning of the song says, "I took my love and I took it down." And that's what she meant by that was her ego was up here, and she had to take it down and examine it and figure out what she was going to do from that point forward. And I think that's really important as a real estate agent starting out. You have to understand what your motivation is. And again, if your motivation is to make big bucks, to drive an expensive car, and to wear beautiful clothing, go find something else to do. If your mindset and your goal is, I'm going to meet wonderful people, I'm going to find them their home, I'm going to sell for them their home and make them happy and excited along the way, then you've done the right thing. So really, step one is self-examination. Why am I doing this? What am I bringing to the table? And how can I hone my skills to figure out how to best serve my clients?
Absolutely. And just as a side note, Brian, as a result of being in this business, I have made so many wonderful new friends,
Mhm.
people that I didn't know before that I worked with, and it was wonderful. And I stay in touch with them now. I had dinner with one the other night. I keep in regular contact with the other one. And this one client I've done like 8 different deals with, and they keep coming back because I took care of them. It was all about.
Agreed. I just closed a client who I originally met he and his former wife back in 2003. They were moving from Port Arthur to Houston. They were originally from New York, and they were a prime call. They wanted to see a house and memorial on a Sunday afternoon, 5:30, and I made it happen. And like you said, I've sold each of them a half a dozen homes. They're everybody from their family moved to Houston. I sold all them homes. It's become just a huge uh, relationship beyond friendship, business wise. And what he said to me as we were selling his current home and finding him a new home, he said, Brian, you are the person that I've known the longest in Houston.
Oh,
And it was humbling and it was touching and it was funny at the same time because good Lord, I was hoping you'd find better friends than me.
oh
But
no, no, no.
but it's an honor to have somebody say something along those lines to you. And to your point, Gene, I think that's reinforcement that we're doing what we're doing right.
Yes, and hopefully everybody will have the same focus. Brian, one thing I kind of on the other end of this too, I think is very important, and it's part of service, is follow up with your people to make sure that they're happy after they buy the house, to still send them notes or have lunch or whatever. But I think this one and done attitude is not the best attitude for any business, quite frankly, that you have to maintain follow up. I send birthday cards to my clients, I send happy house purchase anniversary cards to my clients. How do you feel about follow up?
Follow up is vitally important. I I'm terrible about keeping in touch, making phone calls because I feel like when you're in a transaction with a client, you are at an extremely high level of intimacy.
Yes.
And once we're closed, some of that intimacy dissipates and it's not the same relationship. So a lot of times calling clients and just shooting the breeze doesn't feel genuine to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a huge advocate of writing notes. Like you said, I text them or call them on their birthday. I send them anniversary cards every year when they when the anniversary of the purchase of their home. And every once in a while, just a note saying, hey, just thought about you. Hope all is well. The other thing that we were taught here at Martha Turner Sotheby's, they're big on ninja training.
Yeah.
And something that I picked up from that was once you are closed, you need to call them a day later, a week later, and a month later. A day later to say, hey, how did the move go? Everything okay with the house? Follow up, follow up. And then at that point, that's when I start writing the notes, because you don't want to feel salesy, and you don't want to feel like, okay, I got paid, so I'm going to move on to the next deal. You have to, as you said, keep that relationship open so that it feels real to you and to them.
Absolutely. And I agree they don't need to be inundated, but I do think it's important that they don't feel like you forgot them. And I think speaking of Martha Turner, I got to sit down with her one time, and she said, you've got to remember to hit them where they ain't. And by that, she meant if everybody, nowadays everybody's texting or, DM me on social media, but to sit down and actually write a note, very few people do that. So, way to go, Brian. That's really, really important. And I think that makes your relationship with them more special, because it's very personal to sit down and write a note.
Jean, one thing that I did forget, I always do, is when I was a kid, if I got a gift, my parents always said, you write a note before you deposit the check, before you play with the toy, whatever. So before I get my commission check, I always write them a thank you note. And I include an anecdote or so about the transaction, and thank them twice for their business. Congratulate them and thank them twice for their business.
I think that's invaluable. So many people nowadays do not write thank you notes. Again, that's setting yourself apart. And it's, quite frankly, it's just manners. I taught my children to do the same thing.
Amen.
And it's showing appreciation for what, if you receive a gift, it's showing appreciation for that gift and appreciation for having allowed you to work with them and to help them.
And that's a really good point, Jean. Every transaction is a gift.
It is. Yes. I agree. And now time for a short break.
Dreaming of transforming your space? At Broderick Dean Construction, we bring your vision to life with our seamless design build approach. Locally owned and operated in Tomball and surrounding areas, Broderick Dean Construction is a family business built on craftsmanship and care. Specializing in aging in place design and multi-generational living, we create spaces that grow with you, timeless, functional, and beautiful. From remodels to custom home builds to commercial construction projects, our design build approach brings your vision to life with expert guidance every step of the way. Schedule your design build consultation today at broderickdean.com to get started.
Well, tell us some other wonderful tidbits or your philosophy on customer service, and why do you think it sets you apart from so many agents?
I'm a one-man shop. I don't have an assistant. I don't have a buyer's agent. I don't have anything. When they need something, they call me.
Yeah, that's the way I am too.
I write my own offers. I write my own listing agreements. I feel like for a lot of people out there, especially some of those mega producers, they're hired because of their name. And you think, okay, how much of that person are you really getting?
Sometimes not a lot.
Exactly. And with me, for better or for worse, when you sign the papers, you got me. And I think that sort of attention makes people feel valued.
Absolutely.
And I think that is part of the reason why I'm able to do what I do. One of the other things that I love to do, and it's been a really amazing I don't even want to say sales tool. It's just been a wonderful way to keep in touch with people. I'm a lousy cook. I'm terrible.
No.
And one thing that I do well is chocolate chip cookies, and I'm pretty well known for my chocolate chip cookies. So about quarterly, I pick 30 clients or friends. I make a ton of chocolate chip cookies. I put them in a little box,
Oh, I love it. Oh, that is fabulous.
and I
Baked with
and I,
you. For those of you that are just listening, the box is personalized and it says baked with you in mind.
and drop them off on their front doorstep. I don't ring the bell. I don't, it's, they don't know they're coming. I do a little bit on social media. I do say, oh, I'm baking, I'll take a picture of my kitchen and I'm baking cookies today, and keep an eye on your front doorstep. And I just think it's a nice way for people to remember that I'm thinking about them, and it's just a nice little treat. And it's been a really it's been very gratifying, and it's been very much appreciated. And
Absolutely.
I actually started to do it a couple of weeks ago and realized everyone's on vacation. So I've got a bunch of cookies in the freezer, and probably right after Labor Day I'll go hit it hard.
Yes, because you don't want the cookies sitting out there and not being used. Well, after this, Brian, I'm going to give you my address so I can find some cookies on my doorstep. That sounds wonderful. I love that. That's what people talk about is pop by sometimes. If you ever hear that term, only I think yours is a little more personal than just a pop by.
I was leaving church on Sunday, and there's a woman that I adore, and she lives in a gated community with where I've sold 2 homes. So when I'm there delivering cookies, I go ahead and put some on her doorstep. And she and a friend were getting out of their cars in the parking lot at church on Sunday, and she was introducing me to her friend, and she says, "Oh, and he makes the best chocolate chip cookies I've ever had."
It's not a bad thing to be remembered for, is it?
There are worse.
That's fabulous. I've actually been thinking about doing an ice cream social because it's so hot for my clients. Does everybody come over and have ice cream? I think that's great.
It's it, Gene, whatever we do, it's got to be authentic. I'm not fake. I'm not a good actor. I was showing some really good friends, clients, houses on Saturday, and we walked into a house, and I asked the accompanying agent who the builder on the house was, and he told me. And it's somebody that I think is a terrible builder. And I said, let's go. And my clients were shocked, and of course the accompanying agent was furious.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm sorry. Here's all the things that I've experienced with this builder. I don't know that I'm really comfortable selling you a home built by this particular builder. So I,
Honesty.
I'm not, and I said, guys, I'm sorry, I'm not an actor. I can't sit, oh wow, that's awesome. Yeah, no, let's go.
Let's not waste our time. Well, honesty is certainly the best policy. Uh, Again, that means you're putting your clients first, you know, not just saying, oh, yeah, it's a great house. How much do you like it? Do you want to buy it? No, this is not the house for you.
I tell my clients all the time, I will talk you out of more than I will talk you in.
I think, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I again, it's not sales. It's being a good steward of their resources. And home is very important to me. My home is very, very important to me. And so being trusted to help people buy their home or sell their home is of vital importance. I know what it means to me. I can imagine what it means to them, and I feel like it's my responsibility to help them make the best decisions.
Well, and trust is what it's all about. I mean, most people, not everybody, most people, this will be one of the biggest, if not the biggest investment that they make in their lifetime, where they have most of their money tied up. And they want to be able to trust that the person that's helping them find this house or go through the process has their best interests at heart. And you're being very honest with your clients. That's all we can ask. That's what we want.
I have a client who's moving back to Houston from Bozeman, Montana, and his sister, their elderly father lives at the Tradition, and he and his sister alternate weekends when they come visit. So she sends me a bunch of houses that she thinks her brother's going to like, and we go look at them, and then he sends me a bunch, and I of course put a few in, and he said to me, "I'm always concerned that I'm taking too much of your time. I want you to know I'm going to buy a house." And I said, first of all, you don't have to make that assurance because it's not guaranteed that you are. Second of all, I'm happy. I enjoy being with you. I love showing you homes, and I want to help you make the best decision. And he said, "Yeah, my sister told me that you worked with one guy for 7 years one time, so I'm not feeling so bad."
Oh gosh, you have me beat. I worked with someone for 3 years, but you're there to help them. I had a client this morning tell me that she didn't want to be, she hoped she wasn't wasting my time. And I had to reassure her it's not a waste of time. First of all, I love spending time with you. I love helping you solve your problem. And it's my job. It's what I enjoy doing. So let's go look at some more.
I it's really interesting, and Jean, you understand this as well. The people that think they're high maintenance are the ones that aren't high maintenance, and the people that think that they aren't high maintenance are.
Absolutely.
And again, we deal with all kinds of people, all kinds of personalities, all kinds of net worths. And
Absolutely.
John Doherty used to say, and Martha used to say the same thing. You treat your $100,000 clients the same way you treat your $10 million clients, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
something else that people really appreciate when they feel like they're wasting their time because they're only looking for a $300,000 house. When you treat them the same way you would a person looking at $10 million homes, they really appreciate that.
Well, they deserve the same treatment. I mean, they just really do. I had an agent the other day that works for me, and she said, I'm sorry, I think this is just going to be like, I don't remember what she said, a $70,000 lot that I go, why are you apologizing? You've got a client that needs help. You can help them. Just do it. It doesn't matter. It's not about the price.
When any of my colleagues, the wonderful thing about Greenwood King and Martha Turner and John Doherty and all those firms is they're very familial, and people within the organization have relationships, so we can go to each other to bounce ideas off of, and to complain when things aren't going well. And whenever somebody comes to me to complain about a client, I say, "Hey, listen, if you're not getting along with them, or if you feel like you're spinning your wheels, or you don't feel like you're reaching them, refer them to me. I would love to help them. If you think you're wasting your time, give them to me, because I don't believe there's such a thing as wasted time."
No, no, and not every personality is going to mesh with yours as well as others. I think a professional can work around that, but if it's not, absolutely refer them. That's what's going to be best for that client, and it'll be best for you in the long run as well.
Agreed.
Well, Brian, we're going to be getting close to running out of time here. What words of wisdom do you want to impart that we haven't talked about?
I think we've pretty well covered it. I think it's just really important to remember. The other thing I used to say in my classes was, if you haven't had to cancel a vacation, if you haven't had to leave a movie before it's over, if you haven't had to skip a dinner or a party, you're not really a real estate agent. And if you're not willing to, I don't want to say give up your life, but if you're not willing to compromise who you are, what you do, how you spend your time, then maybe this isn't the right business for you. Again, I think sitting down, I know, we always laugh about this. Well, I want to be a real estate agent because I get to set my own hours. Yeah, right.
Oh, yes. Well,
If you're not willing to acquiesce, if you are not willing to take down your ego and put your client's ego up on the mantle, then you need to find another line of work.
no, you have to be available to your client, period.
Absolutely.
I have to tell a story of myself. this was probably 8 years ago, 7 years ago. Well, I had a death in the family and I had to go to this funeral. It was not in Houston. I had a client couple that was buying a house for the first time. So I said, look, this is what's going to happen. I have to go. You have to drive. I'll be in the car, but I'm going to Zoom in with you for your closing. So I got the the Title 8 company to set up the cell phone so that I could Zoom with my clients. I wasn't there physically, but I could help them through the whole process if they had any questions. That was not a situation that I could cancel, but I made sure I was there for them, which fortunately the title company was willing to cooperate with me on.
May I top you on that?
Of course, absolutely.
And I hope I don't get emotional when I say this, but my father had passed away, and I was in Kansas City for the funeral, and the funeral home is right next to the cemetery, and I was sitting in my rental car outside my father's gravesite, bawling my eyes out, negotiating repairs for a client.
Oh, Brian.
First of all, I know my father was laughing wherever he was, but that's how seriously I take my business. I had a client, I had another agent who is one of those people that it's all about them. And she said, I just can't deal with this right now. I just can't deal with this right now. I'm going to have to have one of my assistants call you back and you can deal with it. And that popped in my mind is here I am sitting outside my father's grave, negotiating repairs. Yeah. And my clients were, Brian, go. And I said, no, we've got a deadline of 5 o'clock. We need to get this negotiated. So I know that's pretty extreme, and I know that sounds kind of silly, but that's how seriously I take things.
Yes, and you're right.
He wasn't going anywhere.
He'd wait for you to get there, right?
Exactly.
Well, Brian, tell us how to find you and your cookies on social media.
Okay, I am at BS Spack, and just look me up, follow me. And keep your eyes peeled. Hopefully September, I'm going to start rolling out the S stands for. And it's humorous. And she's done a wonderful job. I write a script and she comes to Houston and we film a couple at a time. And then she takes them back and edits them. And everyone that she sent me, I think she's edited 6 so far. They are fantastic. And one of them she sent, I didn't really like it. It was because it was too much about me. So she recut it. She sent me the link, and it's fantastic. Wow. So I'm really excited about it.
Well, I can't wait to see it. And just so if you're listening, its last name is Spack, Spack on Instagram, correct?
Yes, ma'am. And I'm on Facebook as well.
Facebook, okay. Everybody, you got to follow him. Find out what he's up to. Thank you, Brian, so much for joining us today.
Jean, thank you. It's an honor. It's good to see you. And I hope I see you in 3D very soon.
Hopefully, I agree. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Real and Real Estate Podcast. I hope today's insights have inspired and empowered you. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share the podcast with anyone who might benefit. Have questions or a topic you'd like us to explore? We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay informed, stay inspired, and keep moving towards success.